Do you need a recap on the tragic story of Hello Neighbor and Mr. Peterson? What, you haven't kept up with the lore? You know, the 6 games, 7 books, 2 graphic novels, and the new animated show? What's wrong with you? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Bonezy Investigations. So who is Theodore Peterson? That's right, I bet you didn't even know his first name wasn't Mr. His early story can be summed up by one of his own quotes. We all have our lot in life. I used to want to change the past, but you can't, can you? All you can do is build a new future. Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, right? Now what Theodore is referring to is he actually does have a very troubled past. In Theodore's early life, he began working at a park called Bosco Bay. Unfortunately, one of the rides Peterson was designing resulted in the death of a child who snuck in during testing. That park was later closed. But Theodore wasn't going to let that stop him, so he opened his own park in Germany, where everything was going well, until 4 teenagers passed away on a log flume. That park was then closed for good. After resulting in the death of now 5 people, the Peterson family quickly left for the United States and moved to Ravenbrooks. And that is where the story picks up. Now, meet the Petersons. Obviously you know Theodore, but he also has a son named Aaron, a daughter named Maya, and a wife named Diane. They were a happy family despite their troubled past, but Theodore was a great father. One day the children were playing and Theodore and Diane left to go to the store. That's the day that everything changed. On the way to the store, the car collided with a pizza truck and Diane was rushed to the hospital. Because the kids are so young, 1 hour probably feels like 5 to them, so they're starting to get a little panicked when their parents never returned home. Mr. Peterson's at the hospital with his wife. Unfortunately, she eventually dies of cardiac arrest. Many hours later, Theodore arrives home, and he has to break the news to his children that their mother is never coming home. Depression quickly takes over the Peterson household. It grabs hold of Theodore, and it grabs hold of his son Aaron. As each day passes, Aaron gets more hostile and takes his anger out on his sister. Then one day as they're playing, he wants to scare his sister on the roof of the house. Unfortunately, Aaron accidentally causes Mia to fall off the roof, and she dies on impact. That's right! You done fucked up, Ron! Mr. Peterson's life was blowing up. He just lost 2 of his family members, and in a desperate panic, he couldn't lose another. So he buried his daughter in the backyard and covered it up so his son would not be taken from him. But now the depression and fears have taken over Mr. Peterson. He believes the only way to protect Aaron is to lock him in the basement so he can protect him while also fearing for Aaron's mental state, meanwhile not realizing that he's completely lost in himself. Now he realizes it's going to be suspicious when both of his children are just gone, so he starts hanging up missing posters of both Maya and Aaron to make it seem like both children have run away. I told you it was a sad story. This is where the first game comes into play. Nicky, a boy from the neighborhood, who is a friend of Aaron's, he ends up getting a little suspicious, and he breaks into Mr. Peterson's house. And eventually, he gets into that basement. And that is when Mr. Peterson captures him, and now he cannot let him go, or he will tell the world what is down there. So he keeps Nicky locked in the basement. That is until Aaron helps him break out. Nicky runs out of the house and back to his. Mr. Peterson starts a chase, but he realizes now he's in trouble, and he needs to get out fast. And now, that's the moment that the second game actually starts. Mr. Peterson is now on the run with Aaron, and a journalist named Quentin is now on the case to discover what is going on. If you think about it, nobody's the villain in their own story. And that's the case with Mr. Peterson as well. Theodore Peterson's not a bad guy. He just made really poor choices when everything came crashing down around him. Mr. Peterson isn't the villain. In fact, the crow guy isn't the villain. The weird guy with the hat isn't the villain. Aaron isn't the villain. And even the scary grief monster isn't a villain. The real villain is the cat. Don't worry, big guy. I'm not going to leave you here. I'm going to get you out of here.
Come on, Pookie. Come on, big guy.
Aww. He looks peaceful in there. Eugene, I've been around this island twice. I've yet to see anything. Oh. What the hell is that? You just